Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Frontline Forever. Today, I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the Northeast, and ending with Team 2 in the Southwest. Starting off with Team 1 Southeastern player, we have in Chevy Crimson, it is Drimmer. He's playing as a UEF. He is a 2099 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. To his north in Ruby Red, we have Flexter, Floor for short. He is an Aeon. He is a 1465 rated. And for Team 1's northeastern corner in orange color orange, it is Gava Gava. He's playing as a UEF. He's kind of dancing a little bit there. He is an 1143 rated. He is going to be the regular sub player for Team 1. Starting off with Team 2's regular sub player, we have in Amethyst Purple, it is, oh no! Hopefully he doesn't have to say that during the game. He is an Aeon. He is a 1383 rated. To his east in Stage Blue, it is Mean Machine playing as a Cybran. He is a 1527 rated. And for Team 2's northwestern player, we have as a UEF, it is Brain Dead Command. Hopefully he's not brain dead this game. He is in Royal Blue as a 1742 rated, the highest rated player on Team 2. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have two UEF and an Aeon. They miss out on the Cybran Tech and the Seraphim Tech. Team 2, they have a UEF, a Cybran, and an Aeon. They miss out only at the Seraphim Tech, which means for the entirety of this match, there are no Seraphim players. Apologies to those who arrived late, but just love to make grand entrances. Hopefully, you will enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 6 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 15,000 mass and reclaim, which makes it a decent amount per player. 2.5k mass. That is a lot to go around. Looking at the major clumpage, we have a nice little reclaim spot here and here. I can't draw while using the little shortcut I made for the reclaim, so that's a little annoying. Just found out right now. That's fun. There's also another 600 here and 600 there. So it looks like the major clumpage are going to be in kind of in the southeastern or northwestern corners. Maybe not corners, more kind of, you know, towards the southeast, northwestern side of the middle. And there is a little bit of mexes on the western and eastern side. There's two Trimex positions here on the western side for Team 2 to grab, as well as 1 and 2, and there's some dotted mexes around. So there is some clumpage, but it's mainly one-offs. We do see a couple of units inbound from Drimmer harassing the engineers from Team 2. We have one of these little mech marines here, and then another one over here. Is this one already on a kill, going to get a second kill. This one at 1 kill as well. So this one's getting a couple of kills before it's dead and gone. So nice delaying tactic by Team 1's Drimmer, just getting him a little bit further closer to the middle of the map, as well as, of course, just making sure he just slows down Team 2. He's not going to stop them anytime soon, 100%, but at least, you know, 2%, 3%, 5% slowing down can make a difference. Taking a look at where the players are headed off to, we have one player from Team 2 heading northward, one team member from Team 2 going eastward, and nothing from the regular slot player of Oh No. We do see in the northeast, everybody from Team 1 has left their main bases for the most part. We do see Floor just kind of sitting in the water, going for a nice little frigate now. So he's just a little bit further away from his main base, not too far away. We do see that Gava Gava is pushed up to more of the middle of Team 1's lineup there. And then we have Drimmer on the eastern side now moving towards the central point on the map. I will note that he does have a nice little drone on his shoulder. Don't know where that went. Looks like he maybe sent it off somewhere. I wish it was easier to tell where they went. Oh, there's the rover drone all the way down here going for reclaim. And it went for these mexes down here. So nice grab there by Team 1's Drimmer, just getting a little bit of harassment and getting a little bit of additional reclaim and mexes very, very early. Taking a look down here, we have a nice little mech marine still running around for Team 1's Drimmer, trying to cause some havoc for his opponents. We'll see how that ends up going for him. I would assume that more units are outbound anyways from Team 2, so I feel like that attack isn't really going to work. but we'll see. We do see T2 now started on board the player of Gava Gava to the northeast. So he's trying to get that engineering suite online so you can probably build some PD to get a front line established. I would assume at least maybe here at a bare minimum, but I'm assuming he might try to cordon off just a little bit of the annoying avenues, maybe here. Actually, he probably would want it maybe here, actually. But I don't know. The further forward you get, the easier it is to just draw a line and say, okay, that's it. I don't have to deal with all these other avenues, but it just depends on what his strategy is. In terms of main engagement points, we do see Navy in the southeast and the northwest. And we do see, of course, the main causeway. So land down the middle and maybe hover tech from somebody from each team on Team 1 and Team 2 on the southeastern northwestern side. Maybe, maybe not. We do have Aeons on each team, so I expect to see some Aurora, but it does maybe depend. Oh, no, is the rear guard air slot player for Team 2, and he's Aeon. So maybe he'll deploy some Aurora, maybe, maybe not. He's probably going to be focused on air facilities at a bare minimum, so probably not on that southeastern side. So I do see a situation in maybe Team 1 grabs the southeastern side, maybe, and Team 2 grabs the northwestern side, maybe. Maybe I don't know. It just depends on how much pressure one team puts on the one side or the other. Speaking of trying to run down the side, we do see that Mean Machine pushing up with a couple of his Mantis trying to run by Drimmer's position. Drimmer just hanging out next to a nice little radar station that's about to be established. We see Gava Gava pushing in, moving actually up to where Drimmer is positioned, and going to try to solidify that front line. Little Force is going to make a little bit of headway, but it probably won't even reach this position. Maybe it'll kill off that mech, maybe, but I highly doubt it. There's a lot of inbound units for Drimmer to deal with that, and I think the slow demise of that position is underway. Not position, but that run by is underway. We do see a nice little facility dropped by Gava Gava pretty far forward. Looks like he's going for that little bit of reclaim on the upper plateau. Speaking of reclaim, I should probably note of what the totals are. Team 1 at 10K, Team 2 at 6. So the numbers are slowly going up, but not a lot of engagements for major land battles or naval battles. So that number should slowly kind of level out a little bit and then probably jump as we see more and more engagements. We do see a little bit of sub-stacking here from Mech Machine down there. And gun damage and range started for Gava Gava in the middle. So he's the only one going for more offensive, defensive upgrades. We see his teammate of Drimmer going for more of a kind of more versatile role. We do see it looks like the rover drone was damaged. So it's just sitting on his shoulder. I do like that. They kind of just have little spots for those rover drones to just kind of sit there. And you can see it on the not regular, but the non-upgraded engineering drone. They still have those little slots there. I just think that's really cool design for the UEF factions. We do see Flores still under the water, going for T2 Navy. He's done with that. He has a destroyer online, so maybe he'll be able to push back Team 1's fleet. There's not a whole lot here. A couple of Thunderheads. There is one attack boat here. It looks like it's actually Aeon. He has UEF and Aeon tech in the water. Well, that's the Aeon facility right there. So he has a decent amount of tech available to him. So he'll have maybe maybe he'll do missile ships and Neptunes. That would be really cool to see the unique units for the UEF, or some of the unique units for the UEF and the Aeon, the missile ship, and the Neptune. We do see Gava Gava getting some T2 PD. Mean Machine very far forward. He is out. I mean, on his own. He has no support nearby. He can dip into the water to protect himself. He does have to watch out from the subs for Team 1 on this eastern side for Drimmer, who's also going for a T2 engineering suite on board his comm. His teammate next door for Brain Dead Command, at least he's building a wall section. He has units nearby, and we have engineers just running to the wall. I feel like there's a joke there. Probably not going to make that joke, but there's probably a joke in that. And we do see Mean Machine does drop into the yellow, sub 5,500 hit points. Definitely needs to watch out he doesn't get shot by any sort of some bombers or some subs. We do see Team 2's fleet is falling back a little bit, but we do see T2 Navy online in the southeast. So T2 Navy is online for everybody in the game. We do see T2 air done for Team 1 going for T2, T3 air done for Team 2 going for T3 as we speak. So both players in the air are going for T3. Team 2 is slightly ahead, which at that rate, it looks like they maybe will get a bomber out, maybe before Team 1 gets an ASF. It is not progressing as fast as their opponents, so maybe. But I think the bomber, if he does go for first bomber for... Oh, no. I mean, he'll get maybe a couple of mexes dead, but I feel like by that time, because he has to, of course, build it and then fly it across the map, and by that point, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he'll have enough time to really do much damage as you would want to see, but who knows? Maybe he won't go for it. Maybe he will. Who knows? We do see Braindead has T2 online, probably going to go for some PD. We have a large counter push inbound from Drimmer. And he's pushing back against Mean Machine. Mean Machine gets back up on the land, and he's now going to hide out in the little pond, that's surrounded by a little bit of landmass here. Not the best place to hide, but when you're trying to maybe cross the map and just go straight to the southern edge, you'd rather walk underneath some coverage than walk under no coverage. We do see that Team 2 has now essentially evicted Gava Gava. I do love the attempt by Gava Gava. He did get some reclaim from it, at least in some degree, and then got evicted. But hey, something is better than nothing. Team 1 barely in the lead for Eco. Not even really worth mentioning it at this point. 260 to 225. Sorry, 252, 253. So, yeah, nothing really in favor one way or the other. That's just, a T1 mix maybe for each team, or for each player on a team. That's really about it. T3 air is done for Team 2. Going for ASF. No bomber. Unfortunate. That's just kind of the way it goes sometimes, though. We have more and more and more Navy pressure from Team 1. Not a lot of... Oh, okay, there's the rest of them. I was going to say, there should be more destroyers somewhere. There's 4 destroyers online, more frigates. Team 2, we see a couple of destroyers. No cruisers yet from Team 2's UEF player of Braindead. He's not producing anything out of that main facility right now. Would love to see him go for the cruisers. He's the only one on Team 2 that has access to those. Both Oh No and Mean Machine. I mean, they do have access to cruisers, but not cruisers that have missiles on board. Team 1, we see Drimmer and Gava Gava have access to that, but only Drimmer is in the water. He has a Cooper online. Love to see those boats. They're not as, I'd say, useful as sub-hunters or sub-killers if you're Cybran, but at least it's something. The reason I don't like them as much is because they're more easily targeted by other units in the game. They're not a sub that can hide underneath the surface and avoid a lot of shots from just, all of the other things. But, that's just kind of how it goes. We do see a Salem online for Mean Machine. Looks like the fleet for Team 1's a little bit better, but not by much. So if they did collide, it'd kind of be a net 0 for the most part. We do see another Salem and a nice little mermaid to hide the fleet from Team 1, or at least attempt to do so. No Omni is going to be online at 14 minutes or roughly. Maybe somebody rushed for it. I highly doubt it. We do see one radar facility in the middle of the map, but I don't know if that's going to be the Omni for Team 1. I think a better position would probably be right about in here where Gava Gava set that facility up. We do see both of the players for Team 1 on the front lines are right next to one another. Both the UEFs, actually. It's Gava Gava and Drimmer underneath one shield. They're just, having some tea, sharing war stories or something. But bomber inbound from Team 2's. Oh, no. So he did go for a bomber. No ASFs inbound yet from Team 1. We do see one has been built. We see a couple of ASFs online for Oh No. And they wipe out a couple of mexes. I think those were T1s. Maybe they... no, those were T2s. So that's 12 mass a second Team 1 loses out on. And that's not really a lot of mass, to be fair, because before they lost those, the lead was pretty much one-ish T2 mech, so it's not that terrible of a lead for Team 2, but hey, a lead is better than no lead. We do see bomber inbound for the now western base for a floor, and that bomber is going to drop. There he goes. He's going to get another set of 2 T2 mexes. That's another 12 mass a second. Bomber has paid for itself, and then some. ASFs engage. Interceptors not really able to really engage the ASFs that greatly. ASFs, are they going to stay here? There's a lot of interceptors. Everybody on Team 1 is sending whatever aircraft they have to deal with this, and that's going to really thin out the response from Team 1. We do see an ASF is dead, but one replaces it. And that should be enough. Bomber is running home. It's on no vet yet, but it's getting close. Killed off 3,600 mass even. And it's almost at 1-star vet. But again, like I said, it's paid for itself and then some. Do we see another bomber from Team 2? No, just ASFs. So we'll see if anybody goes for air in this game. We see some bulwarks online trying to protect the fleet for a Brain Dead Command and Mean Machine down here in the southeast. Stealth is coming online for him. Hopefully he goes for Nano. He might go for Torpedo, but hopefully he goes for Nano. We've seen plenty of Cybern Commanders die. Even if they did have Nano on board in water, it's an upgrade you use early, and that is it. I mean, maybe if you put cloaking on, it'd help you a little bit longer, but by the time you get cloaking, maybe your opponent has Omni sensors nearby, whether it's, over with ASF with spy planes or with the sensor itself or whatever else. It's just, I don't know. It's a good upgrade to have very, very early, but later on it's not worth it. It's like sending a cloaking laser commander to the front lines of your opponent. Unless you wipe out all of the everything that can have an Omni sensor on board, it's not worth it. Unless you're that desperate. So, just food for thought. Food for thought. We do see a cruiser shooting off some missiles. Goes after a bomber that was just sitting there on the little side of the mountain there. Definitely didn't deserve that fate, but, it happens. Bomber's inbound once. Is it going to go? It's going to go for the same set of T2 mexes. That's going to be not 4 and 5. That's 5 and 6 dead. Interceptor is not going to be enough to stop it. And there goes the drop. Do we see ASFs for Team 1? Yes, we do. Gava Gava going to engage. Ooh, not a good turn for either player there. But it looks like Team 2's Oh No is able to recover. And it's just a little bit of a skirmish. The bomber gets out of there once again. Is it going to actually fully escape? It kind of hovers there for a second. It's going to go after that T2 Mex. That's going to be number 7 dead. And, it's really taking a long turn to line up the shot there. Team 2 wins the fight in the air, and the fleet engagement has occurred, at least in the northwest, and it looks pretty even. Bomber does not go for that T2 Mex. It goes for this one. Just want to wipe out the other Mex for that tri-Mex position, essentially kill off the remainder of that position. Looks like there was an engineer running around for Drimmer, just trying to get as much reclaim. Did I just see what popped up? Yep, I did. So he's skipping T3 and going straight for T4 Tempest, Flores. It's going up decently quick, I will admit. 18 minutes on the clock. It is a very bold move. We'll see if it works out for him, but that is, not even having anything else in that tech online for T3 is very, very bold. We do see western side not battleships, but destroyers engaging one another. And looks like Team 1 might have the upper hand. I think there's more destroyers here for Floor than there is for Brain Dead Command. And I don't know, going for the Tempest, that might work out. It's going to take a minute to really get that thing online. But maybe he's thinking I'll just skip going to T3 and just go straight for T4 for now and maybe try to go after that facility or 2, maybe. It is a risk, nonetheless. T3 started on board Gava. Gava's comm in the middle. He's almost done with that upgrade. Looks like he has some engineers going to try to assist with something. Team 2 and Team 1 is forming some sort of front line. Team 2 going for the more wall approach with PD and stuff behind it. Team 1 kind of just going for we'll build a couple of shielding and to build PD and whatnot inside of it and call it a day. It does not really benefit too much for trying to avoid any run bys from Team 2, but Team 2 is kind of already walling off themselves anyway, so it's kind of a 6s kind of situation. Either Team 1 does the wall sections or Team 2 does it, but you're going to have wall sections either way. Team 2's already done it, so what's the point, but might as well just use what they built instead of using your own stuff. We do see a transport T2 laden with a decent amount of Lobos, it looks like. They're inbound for this position. They're going to drop a little bit short of the opposite Trimex position that Mean Machine owns. They are kind of in the middle of not nowhere. Looks like he's going to send them west and then south. Looks like they got spotted by Team 2. Mex is dead. Mex is dead. Mex is going to die. So that's 3 Mex is dead, but 2 of those are T1. So that's 10 mass a second. Team 1 is behind about 125 masses, 120, 125. Team 2's in the lead at 20 minutes by, again, 120-ish. Restores are inbound from Team 2's air player of Oh No. And that should be enough. We do see the Lobos have gone more further south. That mech, I think, does survive. And that T2 mech may make it. There are some T2 PD in this area of the mech. But, at least I thought I saw... Wait, I thought I saw T2 PD shooting at it. What was shooting at it? Oh, it was a destroyer. Okay, I was going to say T2 mech is dead. So that's 12, 14 matches a second gone. And then the last shot from that Salem fires, kills that off. I was like, I swear I see a T2 mech in there. Sorry, T2 PD somewhere. I'm like, no, that's a T1. That's what was shooting at it. Fleet engaging on the eastern side. How's the Salem? Not Salem. How's the Tempest doing? It's almost in the green. It's getting there pretty quick, to be fair. I don't know if it's worth all that investment. Team 2 is probably going to go for, not going for T3 yet. So that might be the call. It's a very big risk. If they can win the Navy, then they can wipe out this base for Brain Dead. And then all they would have to do is maybe win Navy on the eastern side. And that's the game right there. You win both Navies, you win the game. Because you have two bases right next to the water. And then this one could shell this position for Oh No. And then it'd be Oh No for Team 2. Of course, same could be said for Team 1. Not Main Machine, but Mean Machine moving in. I just cannot say his name right the first time. He has gun, he has torpedo, and he has the stealth. He does not have nano. I don't like that he doesn't have nano. I feel like that's an easily overwhelmable comm in the water, especially with all of the everything that has torpedoes in this game. Now, if he was facing off against another Cybern fleet, I'd definitely say he has to go for nano. But the UEF, they don't have as many ships that have torpedoes on board. They have, a considerable amount, but, I mean, the Cyberns have so many torpedoes. Just so many. They have T1 subs, T2 subs. I think their sonar platform has torpedoes, I think. Their destroyers have it. Their battleships have it. Oh, shoot, what else has it? I think do the mermaids have it? I think the mermaids might have something. Maybe it has torp defense. It just has torp defense. That's what it is. We do see some restorers down here in the southeast. And that's going to be kind of a zero-sum game. Well, it's not a zero-sum because there are dead mexes for Team 1's Drimmer. He's losing 9, 18, probably 27. Oh, come on, 180 hit points remaining. Come on, it's right there. We do see some AA from the cruisers helping out from Drimmer, but he's probably going to lose that mex here shortly, if not by just a stray Salem shot or two to call it a day. But on this eastern side, Mean Machine is helping out a decent amount with that torpedo upgrade. We have torp defense constantly being deployed. Restorers inbound to deal with more of the destroyers from Drimmer. And that fleet not looking too hot. ASF's going to just go straight into the gunship horde. Again, the Restorers have the best AA weapons on board for any T3 gunship. So, yeah, just a couple of ASFs is not going to work, especially with a cruiser or two mixed in there for Mean Machines, which is not a good situation. Team 1 has T3 Navy. Neptune 47, 50% completed. Team 2, T3 not yet. We do see T3 Navy done and going for Tempest on that side. So we have Tempest and Tempest for the UEF players and Navy. Love to see that. And then T2 still being built on the Aeon side for Brain Dead. Tempest is done. First one is done. Is he going to build a second one? No, he's not. He's going to go for more. I think those are cruisers. No, yeah, those look like cruisers. I think. Are those cruisers? They are cruisers. Okay, they're just trying to learn. Sometimes look at other shapes. The Aeon ones look very similar, so it's just a little bit difficult to tell each other apart. But we do see the Neptune is done. That's really going to drive this force back. The UEF do have the Neptune class battlecruiser, which does have torpedoes on board. So again, another vessel for Team 1 that has torpedoes that he has to watch out for because he's only at 30 hit points a second regen. That's a lot of damage that can be spread out. And bulwarks have the shield dome protecting the Neptune. We have, I think, another one mixed in there. Yep, there's one right there. So a lot of shots are just being blocked by the shielding. We have Omni online for Team 2. No Omni online for Team 1 that I've noticed. 25 minutes on the clock. We're about halfway through the game. Team 1 starting to get back into Navy. And it doesn't look that way right now, but because of the Neptune, maybe a second one's going to be built shortly. That fleet from Team 2's Mean Machine is gone. Now he's on his own. He has to get out of there immediately. He's now up to 3-star vet at almost 15, a little over 15,500. Western side not looking good for Team 2 as well. We have a Tempest with a bunch of T1, T2 support. No T3 Navy yet for Floor, and we do see T3 units online now for Brain Dead. There's a couple of now Neptunes and Summits running around. So Navy kind of even roughly between both teams, but the fleet for Team 1 on the eastern side is definitely better. The fleet for Team 2 is better if they can take out the Tempest. If they can't take that out soon, that Tempest will probably overwhelm them, just given the range on board that Tempest. So that is something to consider as you think about who you think is going to win this game. We do see some Torp Bombers inbound for Mean Machine. So I got to say this quickly. Again, Team 1 at 500 mass, Team 2 at 700. That is also a huge factor in who you think is going to win this game. First set of bombers hits Mean Machine. Doesn't kill him, but there's still ships nearby that have torpedoes, so he needs to get out of the water immediately. And nobody has lost their life yet. 26.5 minutes on the clock. So at least we have that. I'd love to see it. We have some solaces inbound from Team 2 as well. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to come and win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, that is number 700 on the channel. It is a Phantom game. It is a 16-player Phantom game. Very fun game. I love Phantom games because of all the crazy chaos, nonsensical nonsense that happens. Love it, love it, love it. It's a good game. It's a good game mode. It's a fun, just build all of the crazy nonsense, whether it's Navy, whether it's Game Raiders, whether it's just 1,000 Zars. I'm just thinking about that one Phantom game that the thumbnail is just like 20 Zars in the picture. It's just nuts. But I really do appreciate all the time and attention you give to my videos. So please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let's go back to see the T2 skimmers that are inbound. The Aeon T2. Wow, my mouse went really crazy. That looks like my mouse. There we go. Got adjustment. I hit one of the speed adjustment buttons while I was doing my little halftime recap thing. And I was like, why is my mouse moving very quickly? Why are there six pedals if there's only 4 directions? Lovely, lovely quote from a Machinima. We do see a couple of Neptunes overwhelming that Tempest. Tempest is going to try to hide underneath the surface of the water. Most of the hit points are now gone. Again, there's still torpedoes being fired from these Neptunes. Both vessels do have torp defense, and its main cannon, it cannot be fired. Looks like a tiny bit of ground firing happening. And Team 1's fleet is decimated. That Summit and those 2 Neptunes really came in handy. 8,500 hit points and falling. And Torp Bomber's second volley inbound and kills off the Tempest. Team 1 does not have T3 tech online. And that could have been a lot of mass sent to going for battleships, going for missile ships, going for something. And I think that might be the demise of Team 1's fleet on the northwestern side. Navy is one of those things where you don't really see the impact of your choices or your opponent's choices immediately. Land and air. Land is a little bit delayed, but not by much. Air is very much either you have the ASFs or you don't, or things. And floor control Ks, as I'm talking about Navy and, delaying of decisions, not delaying, but the delay of the consequences kind of thing. And heat control Ks, that's not a kill. That's not a kill for Team 2. That is just, I'm not happy with what happened, and I'm going to leave. And that might seal Team 1's fate on Northwestern Navy. They're not out of this just yet. There's a lot of things still going on for Team 1. They could go for Game Ender right now. They could go for Nuke. They could go for artillery. They could go for a whole bunch of stuff. And that could save them. But eco-wise, Team 2 has still been leading for a little bit now. 760 to 620. It's about 150-ish mass in Team 2's favor. We have more of the Solaces inbound. Looks like they're going after the Tempest. Not Tempest, sorry, the Neptunes. There. Ooh. Yeah, I forgot how much damage those things do. Those things are nasty. One of the unique things for the Aeons is the T3 Torp Bomber. And those things do massive amounts of damage. I think the best air in the game for Navy for sure. I don't know if it's the best air overall. Again, I'm a UEF not a fanboy, but I really, really like UEF stuff. So I don't know if I'll be able to say that Aeon is the best. I do think the Seraphim ASFs are the best. Because I think somebody told me they fire in all directions, which is very useful when you're doing air fights and whatnot because of the line of sight and all that stuff. But Navy-wise, I mean, getting Aeon Tech, getting those T3 Solaces, they are just devastating. We do see in the middle here one Fat Boy pushing in against this position by, oh no, and Brain Dead Command, he's saying, oh no, and getting a couple of T2 artillery batteries online. 1 miasma, 2 miasma, 3 miasma, 4. I mean, this isn't going to be enough to stop the Fat Boy. If the Restorers come in, that might help. He's lost almost half his shielding, so that's about a third of his hit points gone. Restorers move, and now the 2 players from Team 2 are just going to retreat. Maybe he's going to send them in. The ASFs for Team 1 are moving in from Gaba Gaba. He kind of sees what's materializing. The Restorers, I mean, that's one of the only plays they have at this point. And the Restorers go, oh no, and they are kind of gone. ASF's inbound from oh no to deal with this. And yeah, there's some AA for Team 1, but it doesn't look like they wanted to engage anyways. So the Fat Boy does fall back a little bit. It lost almost all of its shielding. The T1 bombers might be enough to take off the remaining hit points if they even get a chance to deploy their payloads, but they do, I guess, do a little bit of crash damage, if you can call it, on the shielding. And Navy has been won by Team 2 in the Northwest. Look at this. That is a lot of dead stuff for Team 1. That's not half, but it's definitely a little more than a third. And that eco is widening 880 versus 600. This will do 2 things. One, will force Team 1's attention more to this northwestern direction rather than, the south and the southwest direction. What it also will do is it gives Team 2's western player a huge amount of room to just do whatever he wants. He could just build a bunch of missile ships, which I guess he's going to do now, so there's an idea. He could go for satellites, artillery. He has a lot of breathing room, so he doesn't have to worry about sending units to the front line all the time. He can just eco, build stuff, SimCity, whatever, call it a day. Not phone it in. He can't do that. But he can just be a little bit more relaxed about being constantly like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to go over there, I got to go over there, that kind of thing. I think I'm dead says, oh, no. Yeah, the Fat Boy's hitting you. Yeah, you're losing hit points. You have Restorers. The ASS for Team 1 are in the northeastern corner. If you send your gunships in now, that might work. We do see a couple of summits. Are those? No, those aren't in range, are they? Oh, they're just right there. Look at that. Team 2 can't see the Fat Boy. Yeah, they're just barely out of range. A couple of mexes are going down, and Team 1's fleet on this eastern side is not looking good for Team 2, if you're rooting for Team 2. A couple of Galaxies online to try to hold this back, but there's same amount of summits, a bunch of missile ships. No Neptunes, but I guess the age of the Neptune is kind of gone. Another summit online. And Restorers did go in. Are the ASFs called in? Yes, they are. Team 2 is going to pull those back. They can probably see the radar signatures. Yeah, they can. And they're going to maybe pull all of them back. Some of the gunships don't make it home. But this push from Gaba Gaba is doing some work. The only thing I see that's not going to be super great for him is the further he sends this in, the easier it is going to be for Team 2 to wipe it out. Even if you just take a Galaxy and just park it right here and just lob some shots over. I mean, like I said, the further south he goes, the worse it goes. He needs to really push not just with the land units, but also with his air units. I don't think he has the ASF count. 70 versus oh no's 80 something, 83. So Team 2 does have the numbers, but I do like how there's just T3 Tort bombers flying over the Fat Boy, because why not? And those Solaces don't have a fun time. They're dropping their payload. Some of them land on the land there, and a couple of vessels are killed off, but not a whole lot. This is more of a delaying tactic, I think, at this point for Team 2. We could see almost a base trade. Team 1 grabs the southeastern side. Team 2 grabs the northwestern side. The only problem with that is it's so close to the other two bases, where if a true base trade would happen, everybody shifts in a clockwise direction. I highly doubt that's going to happen. especially with a couple of missile ships. Looks like Braindead has 3 of them online. I'm assuming he's producing another one. And that's a lot of range. I mean, the yellow is the max range that those things have. We have summits now shooting at the air grid for Gava Gava. He does have shielding. Not a whole lot of it, though. And if those missile ships come in, that's an even worse problem because they have better range. And look at that. Yeah, if they park it right here, they can essentially hit almost the entirety of Drimmer's everything. They can't hit the other side of the pond, though, but they can definitely hit almost all of the land. So that is a situation Team 1 needs to remedy immediately. T2 Torp bombers, gunships, something needs to be deployed over here. There's not a lot of AA in this mix. We have a couple of summons, a couple of Neptunes, a couple of missile ships. There's really no AA here. You know, random pod shot or two, but I mean, that's an easy counter. Team 2 doesn't really have any counters for air unless the ASFs are deployed, but they're engaged down here. And I don't think they're going anytime soon. The ASFs for Team 1 are right there, so why would they? Restorers really want that Fat Boy, and they get it. They don't, but the Summits and the Galaxies and all the other stuff does. And that was the problem I said with going so far south, is you're moving into range of all the Galaxies. And yeah, Team 2 is losing Navy, and I like the idea of just putting more pressure on this lane. The problem is it's going to be won anyways. I know they want to try to kill it as fast as possible or claim it as fast as possible. But the Fat Boy is not worth it. You could have pushed on this western side. Yeah, you had the summits in the bay here, but you could have just kind of skirted right along this avenue and maybe have tried to grab the T3 naval headquarters that way. But again, the further you go into Team 2's base, the worse it was going to be anyway. It was kind of just, you know, rocking a hard place. I feel like calling it back, getting maybe a second one online. Speaking of which, gunship's now online for Team 1's northeastern player, Gava Gava. He's wiped out a couple of the missile ships. He's fleeing in the face of those ASFs. Team 2 has the numbers for ASFs, and all of them transition to the northern side of the map instead of the southern side of the map. Gunship's still whaling on the summits. That's actually a different class of gunship in the game. Those whalers, I feel like if you're going to hit something, you might as well just hit the the Torrent and call it a day. And now we have all of the dead gunships except for 2. And those shots still raining in. Gava Gava not looking too hot for air in that northeastern corner. He's lost all of it. Team 2 has air dominance. Not really closing in on supremacy yet, but they're working on it. Mean Machine is still alive. 4-star vet, 6.7k mass kill, 3,700 hit points, and climbing. There's still a couple of some Coopers shooting at him. He's dropping below 2,500. Ooh, he's going to be a little close. Again, he's got to get out of there. He could be the first actual kill of the game. Again, I don't count Florexter for a kill. It was more of a departure. Again, you don't exactly know why. Maybe he just had to go, but he saw Navy was lost and was like, nah, I'm good. And the bombers are inbound. And that's not looking good for Team 1. Donuts coming online for Oh No. Fat Boy coming online. We have more. I feel like the summits are kind of over at this point. Quantum Gateway spamming up SACUs for, of course, the RAS. We do see a couple of TMD in the base. Some volcanoes. Nice technology there here for Gava Gava, making sure he uses the best TMD in the game. But as much as you have TMD, you got to watch out for those bombers, which are inbound. I would assume for the T3 air headquarters, because it's already severely damaged. And no, they're going for the secondary air grid. Oh, and he wipes it out entirely. There's a second T3 air facility, so that's nice there, but he loses the main one that he has. Good thing he has a backup, but all of his other facilities are dead besides that one anyways. So he's essentially lost all of his air. Missile ships raining in on more mexes for Team 1. That eco divide is widening very quickly. 1.3k versus 500. Satellite online for Team 1's Drimmer. And maybe he tried to build one here. He built something here at some point. Well, maybe he probably built a land facility and probably control cated so he gets the other e-storage there, or the mass storage there. One satellite's not going to be enough. TMD is being built to try to curtail the torrent spam, but going to have to build a lot more than just what they have. We have maybe counter satellites for Team 2. We only have one UEF player, so maybe not. More Solaces. Did I see more T3 strats? No, just more Solaces. Looks like they're probably going to target the Galaxies, I would presume. Actually, Galaxy. The Summits. Team 2 has the Galaxies. Ooh, that's... Missile ship on... Not missile ship, but strategic missile submarine online. Satellite going for the air grid. That's definitely a good choice there. Team 2 does have an SMD, and it is loaded, but it's the only one on their side of the map. If they wipe that out, if Team 1 can wipe out that SMD with the satellite, that missile sub-nuke thingamajig could easily wipe out the air grid, wipe out a whole bunch of stuff. And honestly, you don't even have to do that. You just have to get that ace in range, and you can just launch a nuke right like that and wipe out a huge chunk of that air grid. So you don't even need to wipe out the SMD. So that's... yeah. I don't know. I feel like that satellite probably has better aspirations for it, going after that thing. And just maybe trying to kill it off and gives you more options. But that nuclear sub, if I can say it right, is it's definitely poised for some action. We do see missiles still raining in on the northwestern side, but Donut mixing it with a nice little Cyclops for Team 2's. Oh no, the air player has a land experimental, and there's some AA, and it's being targeted. It's wiping out a lot of the shielding. ASF's inbound from Gava Gava. Ooh, that Donut. I mean, definitely could have just gone for the satellite. Even if it just crash landed on the satellite, that would have been, I think, better than what was probably going to happen to it. Donut's still alive, just barely, but oof, that was almost very, very bad. You might as well just bring that home, control kit, get the reclaim from it, and then build a new one. Counter satellites online. We have one for Team 2 and one for Team 1. And satellite is going after the P-Gens. Definitely a smart play there. There's already engineers building shielding, and I think at least trying to reclaim some of those P-Gens to try to prevent some volatile explosions. We have GC in the base, though. Wiping out. It was a FAF wipe being built, but that is a target. That's another target. These two right here, that should be the sole focus of that GC. Wipe those out. You can bring a nuke in. You can bring, you know... Whoa! That shielding's having a heart attack there. You know, just shuffling back and forth. GC, there it is. There goes the satellite. Team 1 loses their satellite. And there goes the SMD. That's a lovely grab by that GC. That might be it for Team 1. 43 minutes on the clock. Satellite over top. There's not a lot of shielding left. Not a lot of P-Gens left at that point for Trimmer. And he does have RAS on board, but not a lot of power remaining for him. And that P-Gen's about to go down to that satellite. Either by the... Yeah, that satellite's going to get it. Ravagers are maybe going to kill off that GC. He's almost at 5-star vet. Just kill off a couple other items. Or is he going to crash land on the... Ooh, crash land on the P-Gen. Crash land on the P-Gen. Oh, he gets 5-star vet. Never mind. Stomp the P-Gen. Oh, that'd be fun. Stomp the P-Gen. Oh, come on. One more step. Ah, it doesn't count. Oh. Unfortunate. The satellite's going to get it, but you know. Is that a missile? Is that a missile inbound from Team 2? Where is that missile from? Or is that from... Oh, that's from Team 1. That was the A's shooting at the... I think that missile might have... may have actually... If the GC or the satellite didn't kill it, I think the missile would have killed off that P-Gen. But anyways, southeastern side, not looking good for Team 2. We have this base that is not going to look good here shortly. And again, not as much range that Team 2 has access to with those Tempests. I mean, if they got some Aeon tech in here, that'd be different, but they don't have it right now. I mean, they could wipe out this and essentially create this base trade, you know, situation where we have Team 1 now claiming the south and Team 2 claiming the north. But it has been a very long time since we had a proper game that had a, you know, essentially a huge base trade. I can think of the one game in particular, and yeah, I think that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I don't remember which one it is. I mean, again, 700 casts, they kind of blend together. So that one in particular, though, I kind of kind of remember what it looks like. It's like there's a comm in the water, and he's building up to a cliff, and that's the picture. But that could be a decent amount of casts, in my opinion, in terms of thumbnails and whatnot. And the base for Gava Gava's gone. He's at 2 mass a second. Not doing too good. We have Drimmer at 290. Team 2, 1.9, 1.5, 1.6, some number. Again, there's still the fleet down here. And where is that sub? Sub is still there. It's not loaded a nuke just yet. Just feel like that's a missed opportunity. Second satellite, third satellite online. And GC running amok over. It's the same. That thing is still alive. 5-star vet, 153,000 mass killed, 149,998 hit points. Can't give it 150. Just can't do it. Just can't do it no more. I feel like the devs are like, we're never going to do it just to spite you. Just to spite me. They're just going to do it. It's like, nope, we're not going to do it. No. Not going to give that thing 1 extra HP. I do want to see that cast where the 1 HP made the difference. There's probably, I mean, the millions of games that have been played, there's got to be one where it's like, yeah, that 1 HP, that GC stayed alive, it wrecked a whole bunch of stuff. Not that it won the game maybe of it itself, but it definitely helped a lot to win the game. 4th satellite online for Team. Now Team 2 is just showing off. We have 4 satellites. We have another donut. We have a bunch of T2 and T3 torp bombers, because why not have both? And 4 satellites. Yeah, this, Now we have land invasion to the northwest. Yep, there it is. So, yeah, not super great for Team 1. I mean, they did do a great job of grabbing the southeast, but it took too long. Had the trade roughly gone on, maybe if it was even 5 minutes after this one, it might have been enough. I mean, the position is being shelled pretty aggressively by those cruisers. I mean, they only have limited range, though. That's the problem. They don't have as much range as the Tempest do, and they don't fire as much. But, you know, they still do. They still do some range, but it's not as good as the Brain Dead's Tempests. Look at those things. Range at the wazoo. And the base for Drimmer. Oh, the donut is dead. Crash lands. But again, at this point, it doesn't really matter what dies for Team 2, because the eco, the landmass, control, the everything is just in their favor. But Team 1 has Southeastern Navy, so there's that. Oh, and there's the dead everything. Look at all the dead. Oh, look at all the dead cruisers. That is a lot of dead cruisers. Oh, and I will note, there was an update a couple months ago. Somebody told me about that any wrecks that go off screen will be teleported to the edge of the map, so you can reclaim them. So you can't fly an Awasa bomber off the edge of the map kind of thing. That will teleport onto, you know, right about there would be an example. Didn't know that. There was a game that had that essentially happen, where it flew off screen and was killed, and it just showed up, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Why is that there? And then somebody told me about it. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So that strat doesn't exist anymore. So, yeah. And Gava Gava, he's going to make it. 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 He made it. And Drimmer's in the water as well. 48 minutes on the clock. Yeah, it's just not looking good for Team 1. I mean, once the Navy was conquered in the northeast, northwest, that was kind of it. Oh, there's the recall order from Team 1. Team 2 wins the game. Team 2 had a flawless victory, even though Mean Machine did lose Navy. I mean, he did delay them for as long as he could, and because of that, it gave Team 2 a lot of time to build up the western side. And yes, some of the air grid was eventually killed off, but by the time it was killed off, it didn't matter. It really did not. I do think one of the major mistakes of the game, I mean, not to pick on Florexter, so hopefully you don't feel bad if you watch the end of the video, is that him going for Tempest super early, even before T3, once it was killed off, that was it. Because Team 2 had T3, and Team 1 did not on the northwestern side, and it just was steamroll, and that's it. So I do love the boldness of it, to be fair. It's like, oh, if I get T4 early enough, I can try to stomp through all of his units, take out his naval facilities, and then win Navy right there. And if he had been able to punch through and get, even if the Aeon was killed off, it wouldn't have really mattered if the Tempest was still alive because he needed to kill off the UEF one. But it just didn't work out as well as he thought it was. But I do love the attempt for it at a bare minimum. So trying to outnew things, I do love that. And I do think Brain Dead does. I mean, it is a combination of Oh No and Brain Dead, but I don't know. I think winning Navy on the Northwest and just pushing with whatever he had at his disposal, that severely weakened Team 1, and then it was able to give him a buffer zone to go for satellites or go for more Tempest or go for whatever else he wants. Not Tempest, sorry, Torrents. So I think Brain Dead gets MVP, but it's kind of like a 40%, 30%, 30%, where it's like maybe he did 40% and then Mean Machine did 30% and Oh No did 30%. Like it's very tight. Like it's not like a 75% kind of thing. But anyways, as I ramble on about nonsense, thank you so much for watching to the very end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please let me know down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, all of the YouTube things that YouTube loves to see. And tomorrow will be the viewer submitted cast, because I didn't do it yesterday because that was the 700th, and I feel like I still owe everybody at least one a week of something that was submitted to me. So that'll be tomorrow. Hopefully you enjoy it. I don't know exactly what it's going to be right now. It's just going to be something. So thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one.